Hi, this is our project about social injustice in the educational Colombian system. This project was made by Adriana Gutierrez and Mary Leon.
This is our content, and we divide our project in an introduction, key ideas development, like what is social injustice, some examples, and for fundamental access for guaranteeing coverage of the right for education, and well, finally, the conclusion.
First, this is our introduction, and in this project, we are going to talk and focus on the educational social injustice that we can see to these days in Colombia, and what consequence has this type of injustice had? How does it affect the future of many students? And what are the principal access for guaranteeing the right to education?
And this is our key ideas development. In the first part, we are going to talk about what is social injustice. Basically, is the inequality of educational conditions that occur in a society as a result of discrimination suffered by one group compared to another group due to lack of resource or not having good infrastructure. Educational injustice can be seen as a deficit in access to educational rights for both students and teachers, and whether economic or social.
Social inequality uh, has been an issue that has always marked our country. In education, we can see it from various points of view, which have led us to have cases of discrimination and school dropouts. And this is our examples.
In the first examples, we can compare a rural and urban areas, and we was reading an article about Tadeo University. It was about during the pandemic. Some students in a rural area only have to go to the school for a guide and have to resolve, and also have to go again and bring to the school. And it was all. But for example, here in Bogota, some students have virtual encounters and have different virtual classes in which they have to learn better, or it was better because they can resolve some questions and have to learn better with well, classmates and a teacher that was present always. And yes, this is the difference.
And the other is difference between public and private school. Um, in these public schools have the necessary resources, but uh, not are the better resources because some teachers need to teach some different classes or subjects so they can to keep on mind on a subject or class, so they have a lot of information in their mind so they can to present the better knowledge. Private schools have the better infrastructure and have the better teachers because I suppose that the money, or because they have um, money to pay the better teachers or the better places to study or to teach. And we can find that the private schools have second language is obligatory, and so they have the better education in Colombia.
About the difference ICPES results. We can compare all, again the public and private schools because it's obviously that the private schools have a high request than the public. For example, in the area of English, in private schools is an obligation that some students start talking, speaking, listening in English. But in a public schools, only learn the basic things like the grammar and no more. Never tried that some students speak or do this kind of things. Only it's about verb to be and grammar and no more.
For fundamental access for guaranteeing coverage of the right to education, with reference to the fundamental right to education, it indicates that it should be seen not only as a guarantee of coverage, but that is necessary to develop it based on four fundamental access. The first is accessibility, refers to the fundamentally eliminating any situation of discrimination, promoting effective action in relation to entry to the educational system, and expanding the supply of quality public education, considered a highly relevant good in each state.
Okay, the second is affordability. Is linked to the availability to be able to teach the education in conditions of well-being, both material as well as the institutional school climate demanding, and about adequate and relevant infrastructure with administrative, didactic, recreational, and sports resources, and sufficient with the presence of the staff of teachers with training and their knowledge and the components pedagogical.
The other is acceptability, is due to the generation of work scenarios and inclusive pedagogical practice that aim to provide relevant and quality knowledge in a context of the diversity for all on equal terms.
And the final is adaptability. It refers to one tiers for student permanence through company processes, practically of the knowledge imparted, and the adequacy of the training to the internal and external needs of the students.
So it's important to have this access for quarantine of the right to education, because if you have this access, you can make or do better things to improve the education or improve the teach, because it's necessary to be quality in Colombia about education and don't have difference, because different schools have different economic difference.
And this is our conclusion. Basically, the educational system in Colombia is more concerned with improving that is already good and doesn't really focus on the needs of to socially and economically disadvantaged population to achieve inequality in education.
The resources provided are often limited to certain areas, or an excellent result is required from them when they don't even have sufficient resources to survive. This is our bibliography.
Yes, with links and this thing. And
So
thanks. Thanks for
thank you.
watching.